Okay.
Okay, so guys, I am here with Chris Hogan, this amazing man who I've been blessed in my life for years, and we just reconnected recently.
We did, absolutely.
And he was very inspirational in my life 7 years ago, maybe?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So what I was able to do is really sit with Chris and talk to him about breakthroughs. And we're here at the Entre Summit, the Entre Leadership Summit series that the Ramsey Group puts on. And we are in Orlando. Chris has been breaking down some amazing content.
Oh, well, thank you.
So what I want to know, Chris, is that as you've been in this, you've been in finance, you've been in team building, you've used DISC. What are the breakthroughs, when we talk about breakthroughs, what is it that you feel that somebody really needs to know? What is a breakthrough in a business you feel that somebody needs to recognize, and what are breakthroughs you've had?
Crystal, I tell you, one of the things that's blown me away is the importance of always growing.
Right.
Like, I think it's one of those things we tend to think if we get a degree or we get a certain certification that we've reached it. Like we've achieved it, and that's not true. I think my breakthrough was constant education, meaning real world, real life education, learning some stuff, growing myself. Like in the car, I listen to podcasts, I listen to books on tape. I'm very intentional about my growth. And so that is a big breakthrough. I think a lot of people think once they get a degree or they get that certification that they're now ready, and that's not true. Yeah. You've got to apply the knowledge. There's a difference between being prepared versus being ready. Being prepared means you have some knowledge. Being ready means you know how to apply it and when to apply it.
So when did you have your first breakthrough? I mean, in a business where you realized, okay, I not only have the knowledge, but I can see myself applying what I'm learning.
I think when I saw how my words were making people feel, when I saw that I was being a boss, I was imitating who trained me instead of being who I was. So I was acting. I was being fake. And so one of my other big breakthroughs was to always be authentically me. Meaning I can be firm and I can be serious, but I got to be myself. Because otherwise what you have is internal turmoil on Sunday night when you know you're going to a job that requires you to be different than who you really are. And so I think you can emulate other people, but you've got to be yourself. And so be real, be firm, but I'm a fun-loving person.
Right.
So for me to not have humor, to me to not have fun in the workplace, that's a facade. That's not who I am. And so you can be serious, work hard, and have fun. That was a big breakthrough for me, and I wish that was something I could go back and teach the younger Chris.
Yeah,
Yes.
And how did that breakthrough come about? Because that's a clarity piece,
Oh,
right?
it was big.
It was you owning you, being
Yeah.
congruent, saying, you know what, this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to lead my team and my business, because this is my foundational advantage.
Right.
I'm funny and I'm smart and I'm
Right.
driven.
I can tell you, when I started to hate my job on Sunday, because I knew going in on Monday,
The Sunday Blues just isn't the song.
there you go. It wasn't the right kind of environment.
Right.
And as the leader, it was my job to create that environment. And so just looking around, people weren't having fun. I wasn't having fun. And as the leader, guess what? It's my fault. And so what was I going to do to change it? So the first thing I had to do was apologize to the team, telling them, hey, listen, here's what we're going to do going forward. And if you see me not being me, if you think I'm being different, I want you to say something to me, because I trust you guys, and I want you to trust me and know you can count on me. So how can I help you get better? What I'm here for you. And it was one of those things where I was either going to have to make that change or I was going to have to shut it down.
How did you allow yourself to be so vulnerable? Because by going to your team and saying, I haven't done it this way,
Right.
I want to do it this way,
Yeah.
that's a big piece, because
It
you're
was.
opening to
Yeah.
them saying, hey guys, I'm not the person you think I
Yeah,
am, or
yeah.
I didn't act like me.
Well, I was being an egomaniac. I was acting like it was all about me, and it's not. The servant leader knows it's all about them. It's about the team and the customers. And so that took some eye-opening. I beat myself up over that because I probably mistreated some customers. I know I mistreated some teammates. And so you have to own it. When you make a mistake, own it. Apologize, and then you got to change. Remember, I told you all that lesson in there. A repeated mistake is no longer a mistake. When you keep doing it over and over, that's now called a choice. So we have to make choices that move us in the direction of our purpose and our mission.
Yeah, that's huge. Now, One thing I want to ask you, Chris, is what is a breakthrough you've recently had? Because to your point, if you're always growing, there's still breakthroughs, my man. There's just still stuff where you go, okay, there's another thing happening, there's another thing happening. So what's one that you feel like you want to share, whether it's a podcast or a book, you just feel like that's a recent breakthrough you've had?
Yeah, I would tell you there are a couple things out there that I've read that have changed my paradigm. From a parenting standpoint, I'm a father of 3 boys. And so I realized that with my kids, I'm not in a battle against them, I'm in a battle for them. And I need them to know I'm a teammate. And so I'm not trying to be their buddy, I'm trying to be their father. And so I've got to do what's necessary to keep them safe. The other thing from a leadership standpoint is this: I've got to own my words. What I mean by that is I used to say that so-and-so works for me, they work for me, they work for me. That denotes ownership. They don't work for you. If you're building a true team, they work with you, right? So be careful as a leader of your language. Be careful of what you speak because your team is listening.
Right. It's great advice. Any good advice as far as a podcast or a book somebody can, well, you know what? Retire. Come on.
No. I would say this. I would say, listen, instead of listening to the radio or music all the time, find a list of 4 or 5 podcasts that really are something that encourages you. Listen to it while you're on the treadmill or while you're on the bike walking, and just watch. Write down those little nuggets. When you hear something you know you want to share with your team, write it down and make sure you use that as part of your training.
Right.
So you can still listen to music sometimes, but let's listen to things that are going to grow us and move us forward.
Absolutely. So EntreLeadership is a great podcast if you haven't had it yet.
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right, you guys, Chris Hogan from Entre Summit.
Thank you all.